How are we doing, everyone? So this is a little bit of an impromptu filming and videoing because, well, I've been maintaining the tanks all day. I am pretty tired, but I have come across the first ever aquarium setup I done on video for what has become Fish Shop Matt for this channel. And I've watched the first 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and I've watched the end 15 seconds to make sure it was all there. And it seems like it's all there. And we're going to do a recording of me watching it, and you can come and watch along. And I expect that none of you will have seen this. Maybe one or two of you, if you were really with me right at the start, but it was never posted on here. It was posted at other places. So yeah, I'm going to sit, I'm going to watch it, and I think it proves that anyone can become confident and become a YouTube sort of thing if you just put your mind to it, because from what I've seen so far, it's fairly cringy. Now, obviously, we've hit a fair few cool milestones on the channel recently, behind the scenes and in front of the scenes, with sort of view counts and things like that ticking up over the years, and also the subscriber count actually getting over 100k. And I think I've already mentioned it in a few videos and done a video thanking everyone, but a huge thank you to everyone who is following along on this absolutely amazing and crazy journey. We've still got some amazing and cool stuff to come along. But there's actually quite a lot of you that don't subscribe still, saying that. There's, yeah, quite a percentage of you. Subscribers don't mean anything, you know, it's just a number. It's sort of, yeah, it doesn't really mean anything to the world of YouTube. But I would like you to subscribe because it is nice, because we have received our plaque. Check that out. And it matches the shininess of my tank here. So I think I might put it up above there. But yeah, our 100,000 plaque has arrived, which is so cool. This is not something that I thought would happen. Anyway, let's get the soppy stuff. Let's not go down that route. Now, I do have to say a big shout out to Graham from Aquarium Adventures. He done a recent video where he had just hit 100,000, and he went and watched his first ever video back and commented on it and joked about it. And yeah, it was quite funny. He was making discus food and stuff. If you don't follow Graham, go and check him out, because he is so good at what he does and so funny. But this sort of idea came from that. And then I was looking back at my first videos, and there's a tour around my old shop and a few other bits and pieces. And I was like, yeah, we could go and do that. But I didn't want to copy what he had just done. And then whilst actually trying to clear space on my phone is where this came from. I was scrolling through the big videos that were stored on my phone, and I'm like, what is that? That's me ages ago in a uniform in the shop. Like, what is that video? Clicked on it, and I'm like, oh my word, that's what that is. That is the first scape that we ever done and I filmed. And yeah, wow, I can't believe that I have still got it. So I'm going to grab my phone out and we are going to watch it on there. I need my headphones. I've put them up there. That was absolutely perfect. I was a little bit worried about them picking up on my talking, and I didn't want to edit my talking out. So hopefully Bluetooth is connected. Battery's full, which is always good. The 22% on my phone isn't ideal though. So we'll get this playing. I'm going to pop it up here for all of you, and I'm going to pause it, and I'm going to live through the cringiness and the 1,000 ums that I bet I say, because I remember back when I first started filming, it was always a thing of like, and that's before I got confident in talking to camera. And I don't know how you describe it. You just get used to it. You just get used to the flow and the commenting and talking and things. But it does show that, like, with enough perseverance and enough thought, and I'm really sad, I love researching things. I have spent hours looking into how to film and how to do this and how to do that. And I'm still awful at it, still really bad at it. But you can become something. So if you've ever got any thoughts of becoming a YouTuber, as it were, have a go, crack on, try it, because you never know where it will lead you. Now let's find this film somewhere in here. There it is. I'm already hating my face on it. Hang on, let's rewind it. Let's hit play and let's see how this goes. Right, here we go. So a few of you have messaged me and asked me what I do with my scapes and how I scape aquariums. I do a lot of dry run displays. I do very few wet run displays in the shop because of how busy we are. The plan is to get a lot more done over the next few weeks, but my I suppose my hand has been forced a little bit with some fish that have been dropped off to me by a very good friend of mine. Possibly one of the rarest fish I have ever kept in this shop. You know, so... Okay, so we're already like 28 seconds into this video. It's not a long video, to be fair. I don't know how I managed to squeeze an update and escape and all of it into this shorter time. Like, I guess I just wasn't focusing on it, but you know, once I realized that you all wanted the information, that's the whole point of this channel, is the education and the information. And there's a lot of you that watch this channel, and I hope that there's a few thousand of you that I have hopefully saved from either giving up on fish keeping or even saved the fish's lives, as crazy as it sounds. That's my ultimate goal for this channel, is to make it, you know, accessible. And seeing this in this format of like, this is the rarest fish, and it's just funny. It's just really weird to see where I came from and where I started and how awkward I was on camera. And this was after I'd appeared on MD Fish Tanks videos, I don't know, 100 times probably. And I am not ever going to go back and try and find the first times, and neither should you. Because they are truly, you know, back in the start of it, it was like 10-second little clips of me going, oh yeah, this is a neon tetra and it comes from this river, or blah, 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 blah. So there's not much of me, but oh my word, this is awkward. And I'm already on about 10 which is amazing. And one thing actually, a dry run tank and a wet run tank, when you're working in the shop, it's probably fairly self-explanatory, but I will explain it in the fact that it's where you would have like a dry display. So we used to set up all of our aquariums in the shop with aquascapes. I don't like using the word aquascapes because aquascape is a very, I don't know what it is. I set up aquariums and I have fun setting up aquariums. Am I an aquascaper? Not really in my mind, but aquascaping is just, for me, putting rocks and wood and plants in and making something look pretty. So anyway, but we used to do wet runs and dry runs. So dry runs would be where you've just got here wood and rock and plastic plants to make the tank look appealing. The amount of times we would sell those tanks, people would be like, I just want all that wood and rock, please. Not the plastic plants, I'll buy real plants. We used to sell them a lot. And then wet runs, before I met MD, wet run aquariums in the shop where you've actually got fish in them were very few and far between, to be honest. But having them in the shop actually changed the shop massively. And if any shops are watching now, I would be 100%, if I was ever going to run a shop again, I would have more wet displays than, not anything else, but I would have a lot of wet displays, because that is what entices people and shows people what you can do. The amount of times that I wouldn't have a display tank, but you've got, I don't know, 500 tanks full of fish. But anyway, yeah, that's the difference between wet run and dry run. This is where I got to. I paused it here because this is, I don't want to live through this, to be honest. I sort of don't want to go through this, but here we go. That'll come later though, because I can't put it in tonight. But I've got this little Scaper 90 that I'm going to have a bit of a play with this evening. I've got some stratum from Fluval. I've got this really wicked bit of bogwood. Well, it's actually Corbo catfish root that I'm going to be using. Not too sure what rocks, but you know, I've got all of this to play with. Marines have gone off, so that's good. Wow. I'm just going to stop it there because that is when the Marines were in the shop, like the saltwater system. So that's going back. Yeah, wow. That was just as we had moved everything to build the aquascaping area with all the rocks and the wood. So that's crazy to see that, because that is, yeah, that's so long ago. I'll find a date for this, because this must be 2022, I guess. It's a long time ago. Well, it's not that long ago, but it feels like ages. So yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a play. I'll record it. I'll probably cut some of this waffling out. And yeah, we'll see where we get to. Okay, so I've just done this on a time lapse, most of it. That obviously at the start there, I'm happy with this camera as well, this phone as well. So the phone that I was filming this on, I had no tripods, no microphones, nothing at that point, not a single thing. I didn't even think this was going to be a thing. This went on to, like, I set up like fish shop mat social media channels, just a couple of them, just to post photos and stuff, and that's where it started. And this went on there. So these videos went, or this video, this is the only one I've done. This video went onto there. And this phone was propped up against a piece of wood on the wood stand. So I sort of had my camera propped there. And it's quite funny because like Graham, Aquarium Adventures, when I watched his video about sort of looking back at his first video, his discus food video, I think it was, he had his camera phone like propped up in a cupboard with the door open, and I think he said like he had a baked bean tin sat on it, so it was like counterweighting it. And he said, oh, I thought that looked so professional. Like, I thought that was like, oh, it was amazing. And it's the same with this. I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, I thought that was great footage, but all I've done is like sped it up. And you can see I put pebbles in there at first. I don't discuss that at all. I put pebbles in there, and then I remember going, that looks awful. And it probably looks awful when I get to the end. But then I've obviously swapped it for layer stone. So, you know, that's what I've learned, is actually being open and honest and talking you all through the mistakes and I was going to use this, but now I'm going to use this, and so on, so on. So it's quite cool. And then, yeah, we're putting layer stone in there now. So I can't even remember what this finishes up like, really, if I'm honest.
Well, that was really stressful. I didn't realise
the transitions are quite dizzying as well. I'm not a fan of that. Sorry if that's freaking any of you out, but that flashy transition is pretty mental. Let's see what we say about my first bit of scaping.
I haven't scaped a tank this small in years. Like, probably a good 8 years, 9 years. I haven't scaped a small tank. So, be kind. But I'm alright with it. Hello, there's my plants. But yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay. So I've gone, that bit of wood is the gnarliest bit of corbo root that I've ever seen in my life. Sorry, my hand's shaking because I might have just dropped a rock on it. So, you know. But yeah, that is the gnarliest bit of corbo root. And then these little bits around here are some really cool layer stone that we've got in. So yeah, yeah.
So I don't remember dropping a rock on my hand. I reckon that was me telling a slight... Oh, maybe I did. I can't really remember, but I think that might be me saying that because I was probably really nervous. I was filming this after hours in the shop. So this was like, I don't know, maybe 8, 9 o'clock at night, sat in the shop on my own, like, yeah, pitch black outside, probably a little bit freaky. We used to do fish deliveries, but generally not on your own. So yeah, you always had to set up someone that you were going to phone. So like Katie would have been my like point of call for this, just in case I like tripped over and hurt myself. But yeah, it's definitely interesting looking back at it and seeing I've not changed though. Oh, look at my plants. Like that is definitely me. That's 100% me, and I'm still the same now. So that's quite funny to see that I've not changed. Like, oh, a squirrel. Yes, I don't mind this so far though. That layer stone's looking good in the front. Like, I've aquascaped thousands, hundreds of tanks in the shops over the years. Been part of building, you know, big displays in some of the shops. You know, so I was. No, am I going to start that again? Is it giving it to me? Well, that's terrible. I'm not going to say it. I nearly said again. So I was part of that. I've scaped hundreds of aquariums. So. But definitely filming them is different. Filming them is 100% a different thought process. And like, once you get to sort of getting into it really badly, like every rock placement, you'll be filming from a slightly different angle. And, you know, you're trying to get the tripod and the camera up over the top of the tank so that you can see what's going on in there. And yeah, there's lots of different things that you do not think about until you're there, until you're doing it. And yeah, it's weird looking back on this because, again, I didn't have a tripod, so I've just set that camera phone up there so that I can watch everything I'm doing. Yeah, crikey. I've come a long way, and it is quite interesting to see how much I've changed with how much I've learned. And, you know, we're off to a YouTube event in London as I'm filming this next week, I think, or the week after. Yeah, in a week or two's time. So we're off to this big YouTube event in the middle of London, and we've been invited to that. And like going from here to there is amazing. I'd honestly say to any of you that is out there looking at this and thinking, cool, I really like, I don't know, cars, or I really like crochet, or I really like cooking. I don't know why I'm going for all C's, but I'd just go and do it. Post on a social media platform once every couple of days and start posting and see what traction you can pick up, and then start having a look at filming it. Honestly, it could change your world and change your life. And I must say a thank you to everyone who follows me along, because it has changed what I do. You know, I'm not driving around in fancy cars and Ferraris, and, you know, you do not make millions from YouTube unless you've got astronomical views. But if I can help my hobby succeed, and I can help people succeed in it, and also have a roof over my house, roof over my head, that's what I meant, and my family's head, I'm happy. Like, that is the ultimate goal. I could help, 10 people a day working in the shop when I was in there. You know, every customer would take maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. You've got loads of other jobs to do. So yeah, maybe help 10 people a day. Whereas on the internet, I'm recording things about the nitrogen cycle or whatever, and it can help people for years and years to come. And if you've got a similar hobby where, you know, you can help people get into it and enjoy it and have a little bit of stress relief, or, I don't know, get really good at riding mountain bikes or whatever, go and do it. It's just amazing. It's a really good feeling when people message you and you're like, oh, I couldn't do this, and now I've got this amazing tank. Anyway, I digress. This is sort of a chat about everything, but this is really cool to watch where I've come from. It's really awesome.
I'm okay with it. So I'm going to fill it. I'm going to see how cloudy it is. Possibly going to then plant it.
That's a quick transition. I was like, fill up, done, bang, back on. That was quite interesting. I liked that.
I'm fairly happy with it. Yeah, I like that. Looking nice. I was going to plant that up tonight, but I've just realised plant's coming on Friday. So I think I'm going to plant it up Friday. So it's actually Saturday morning, Friday.
These transitions are giving me whiplash, to be honest. So we've gone from it being whatever night that was that I was filming the first bit, to now it being I was going to do it on a Friday, and now it's a Saturday night. So I probably put a fair few hours into this video. Because if you think, like, that first video would have been a couple of hours condensed down into 2 minutes. And then, yeah, that's crazy to think that I smashed hours and hours of footage into 4 minutes 30 seconds, which is crazy. That is proper mental. Don't know why I planted this full up as well. Like, I would normally have planted this empty and then filled it up from there. But I think, again, when you're filming and you're doing things in front of camera, your brain turns to mush, no matter how well you know the subject. Like, I have been working in the industry for 20 years. I know so much, and you still get it where you're like, I think that's right. Like, because once you're in front of a camera, you get panicky about people seeing it, and you have to research yourself. Like, you will never know everything you need. Well, no, that's not right. You will never know everything about fish keeping. Anyone who says that they are this, like, oh, I'm an expert and I know everything there is to know, you know they don't. They don't, because there is just so many specialities and so many little bits and pieces, you know, from black water tanks to reef tanks to aquascapes and planted aquariums and CO2. You just can't know. I'm very much a generalist. I have kept a lot of everything. I have kept loads of different species, loads of different styles of tanks, and I'm sort of a generalist of everything. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Once you get in front of a camera, it does make you sort of doubt yourself and doubt what you're talking about. And yeah, it's so funny. So funny listening to this.
I might have had the day off, but it was okay. So I'm going to plant it today. It's cleared up nicely.
That's a lie. I never had days off. I always used to work like a ridiculous amount. I did have days off, but I live so close to the shop, like 5 minutes away. Even on my days off, I'll just pop in and see how the new fish are doing, or I'll just pop in and check that plant delivery's turned up. I was awful for working more than I should have. And that's why I'm quite lucky, actually, once you have a family, once you have a small boy and once you have a child, it could be a girl. But once you have children and, you know, a wife or husband at home, it definitely changes your perspective on things.
It's looking all right. Hand is still shaking quite badly. That's because I'm tired. I've actually brought plants in from home, and a plant that we can't order, which is guppy grass, which one of our customers had actually kept into us. So I brought some plants in. I'm going to steal some out of the planted tank. We're going to get it planted. We're going to see what it looks like probably in the next 15 minutes.
So again, handshaking. I have awful. Here you go. Story time. I've probably that. Maybe this is oversharing. I don't know. Who knows? But maybe this is just a nice chat. Maybe we can do this again about other subjects. My hands shake regularly. MD hated me when I was on the camera because I shake, and that is because I spent way too long riding BMXs, mountain bikes, trials bikes, and then a little bit of skateboarding, a little bit of snowboarding, and I smashed my hands and wrists constantly. And so, like, every now and again, I'll get it where I'll be holding the camera and I can just see my hands. So I do apologise for my shaky hands where I'm saying, oh, I'm tired, oh, I dropped a rock on it. It's all just my hands and wrists are broken, and I feel quite not embarrassed by it, but like self-conscious, I guess, especially when you're trying to hold a camera. Guppy grass as well. I need to get some guppy grass from Sean at Tropiquaria Zoo, because I think that's where that guppy grass came from. And I haven't seen it in a shop. I haven't seen it for sale from a company. So yeah, I better get on because we're running out of battery here.
Sunday morning, and yesterday we got all the fish in there. We used biological media from one of our filters, all mature water off of the system. So yeah, everything was ready to go straight away. Now, I did say at the start that they were quite a rare fish. They're probably the rarest fish I've ever kept.
I'm going to pause that there again. So Whiplash, we're going to do the planting today. It's Sunday. What? I really didn't know what I was doing with this, but it's quite funny. It's quite interesting. I'll tell you as well, one interesting thing about filming fish tanks, certainly, I don't know about other hobbies, because you can probably do like chest mounted cameras and stuff for like hobbies with your hands and things. But certainly with aquariums, and I know that I've been talking to actually loads of people, essentially the Scapegoats podcast group that I talk to, so Adam 7 Fish Tanks, Adam AH Aquatics, Jay from Hooked Aquatics, and then my local lads, Alex B Aquatics, who is also the Practical Fish Keeping magazine editor, and also Ems from Somerset Shrimp Shack. I've been talking to them, we've got group chat, and the amount of them that have messaged into the group chat going, oh, I've just filmed, and like it's 30 minutes of my back or my elbow, because once you're in an aquarium and you're working in the aquarium and your camera's here, everything is the back of your elbow or the back of your back or the door opening. Everything is sort of so difficult. So like when you're filming, you're here. Now you guys don't want to see my back. You want to see the shots and you want to see the actual fish tank. But once you're in and you're sort of forgetting about yourself and you're actually, you know, getting to work in the aquarium, you forget that the camera's behind you. And then all of a sudden it is like 15 minutes of the back of your elbow. And it is quite funny to watch. And seeing me planting up there, that was like a good, I don't know, that would have probably been a good 10 minutes of me just with my back in front of the fish tank. Possibly why I sped it up, and Saturday is only 25 seconds long because, well, maybe I just literally was the back of my head and the back of my back. So sounds like we're getting the fish in this next bit.
So here's how it's looking this morning. Not too bad. I've used a few little crypts in the front, just because they're easy to keep. I don't want anything too high maintenance in there. Now, I don't know if we're going to be able to see the little guys, but these little chappies here are, and I'll get it wrong, but they're tequila split fins is the common name, and they're a endangered species that we've managed to get 20 of from Tropiquaria Zoo. So yeah, go follow Tropiquaria Zoo because they're doing some amazing work. But you might have seen them on the BBC.
Now, obviously, if you've followed my channel for quite some time, you'll know that I've worked with Tropiquaria Zoo a lot on, you know, building a pond for Bode the lynx. So you can go and watch those videos on the channel if you want. Me and Alex B built a tank for wild guppies. What else have I done with them? Oh, we've done the extinct live bearers. So a relative of these little live bearers that are in this video. I cannot remember for the life of me what they are called. No, not going to remember it, but I'll link them all down in the video. Actually, I should probably make a Tropiquaria Zoo playlist. That'd be a good idea. So, fast forward, what was I going to say? Tequila split fins, that was it. So we've done loads of videos at the zoo, and the funny thing is with these fish here is they are endangered, and there is big things about reintroducing them into the wild. So there's breeding projects, there's they're called the Guardians of the River, and essentially they're in the area that these fish are from, and they're clearing up the rivers. They're taking, you know, bottles and tires and just all that generic rubbish and stuff that ends up in a river that pollutes it and causes problems. So these fish were proper endangered, and now they're being introduced back into the wild. And Sean at Tropiquaria Zoo does all the goodies, does all these live bearers, all these amazing fish, and breeds them all. And the cool thing is with these ones is Sean has a pond. Not sure I've got a shot of it anywhere that I've got saved, but I'll have a look and see if I've got a shot of it. If not, go and watch one of my Tropiquaria Zoo video tours and you'll see the pond. He's got a pond in the main tropical house, so there's reptiles and there's lizards and frogs and snakes and all sorts living in this big tropical house inside. And there's this big pond that used to be like a tortoise enclosure, and he done it as this wild live bearer, loads of vallis, loads of plants. And there is, like, no word of a lie, like 1 million of these tequila split fins living in that pond. Like, you just lean over it and it's like whoosh, they all disappear. And yeah, so to be included in projects like that, I've known Sean and I've worked with Tropiquaria Zoo in the shop for years, but from I don't know how to describe it. It's all down to you all following me along and allowing me to go and build a pond for a lynx. You know, we spent 7 days building that pond. I filmed most of it. I didn't do a lot of the building, but I want to thank you all for helping me to have those things. And that's why I want to bring you along on as many as I can, because it's amazing that I've been given this opportunity to help endangered species, to help local zoos build ponds, and to help them with fundraising and just all of this cool stuff. So yeah, huge thank you. You know, Sean does an amazing work in the aquarium, and all of the staff at Tropiquaria Zoo do such great work, and it's just nice to be able to highlight it. I think it's just one of the things I like. If I've got this platform now, I like to be able to highlight things that are going on. But we've got 30 seconds left to go. I've probably talked too much, to be honest, but
because Chester Zoo have been reintroducing them into the wild. So yeah, they're really cool little fish. We're looking forward to them growing up. But yeah, we'll see how it grows in a couple of weeks.
What does this say? So these fish will be on loan from Tropiquaria Zoo for the next few months. Be sure to visit them or keep up to date through Zoogeneticus. Can't I say that? Zoogeneticus. I can't say it. Tequila split fin live bearer, or the tequila split fin, because there is a few split fin live bearers, I believe. I think this is like a week or so later where the plants have grown up a bit. And we did have lots of babies from these, like even though it was only like a 60-ish litre aquarium, a 90 litre aquarium, isn't it? 60 centimetres, 90 litres. We had loads of babies from these fish. And if you want to get involved actually in this, another organisation, I guess, that is sort of close to my heart, and again, I've sort of done videos with them and been to some of their auctions, is the British Live Bearer Association. So if you want to be part of, like, not necessarily breeding projects like this, but if you want to get your hands on some rare or endangered live bearers, or even some of the more rarer different live bearers, then the British Live Bearer Association is a great place to start. So I think you can find them on different social media channels and things. I'll try and link their website. There'll be a lot of links in the description, but I'll link their website down in the description as well. And again, it's given me the opportunity to talk to people like that. And like going into 2026, we have got some amazing projects lined up with, I can't give many of it away, to be honest with you. More ponds for more zoos, hopefully. Possibly some setups for more endangered fish and endangered inverts. What else can I give away? Oh, some talks at fish clubs around the country. So there's a couple of fish clubs, 3 or 4 that I'm in talks with at the moment, and we're trying to work out dates where I can go up. And obviously the problem is, like, this is now my livelihood, so I can't just go and burn 300 quid spending 3 weeks traveling around the country visiting different sort of clubs and things like that. I have to have a vague business mind, which is weird and horrible, but you know, it doesn't earn us millions, it gets us by. So I do have to make sure that I can actually fund these things. But yeah, we are going to few different fish clubs and things. So watch out for them on my channels, on social media channels, because I'll be showing off where we're going, what we're doing. And then I'm even thinking now, you know, you'll have shows like Aqua and different ones hopefully coming up next year. And Fish Fate we might be going to. That's still yet to be seen. There will be an announcement on why I might not be at Fish Fate in Easter. Watch this space on that. We've got 14 seconds left. Let's finish this 14 seconds and see how this tank looked. Wow, that was a brief end, to be honest with you. It was probably good, actually, to be fair, because one funny thing about YouTube is, for me, I like watching the cinematic piece at the end of a video. So when you get all the cool shots of the fish swimming around and how they're interacting with the scape, and you know, how they're doing maybe a week or 2 weeks later, however it has been filmed, I like that bit. That last few minutes is the coolest bit for me. Interestingly, looking at retention rates, which is the graph where people click off of your videos, your video will go through and, like, you know, setting up the tank, it's clicking along, you know, you're installing the filter, yeah, it's still going along, and it goes along, and then it gets to the point where you show off the tank at the end of a video. And this is a weird bit of insight, and it might be interesting, it might not be, but when it gets to that bit, after the first maybe 20 seconds, once the majority of people have seen that tank, oh yeah, I know what that looks like now, boom, off. Like, it literally, the retention rate goes blup. And having that last piece of footage for me, where it just sort of drops off and it's music and all of that, actually doesn't really work that well for the channel, and actually means people click off 30 seconds earlier, maybe 2 minutes earlier than I would want them to. I'd want them to finish the video and see what the tank looks like. So it's really weird, and that's why I've started talking in my outros and actually giving you information about how this plant has done and how that plant has done, because then there's a bit of an educational element to the end of the video whilst I'm overlaying the footage. And I've just realised it's really late and this tank is slowly going off. But yeah, that is really cool to see that tank and see how far I've come. And I can see how I made it 4 minutes now. It's like 4 days of work, and I made it into a 4-minute, 30-second video. I don't even know if it is up on still social media platforms. You might be able to find it in places. I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been a bit of a weird one. I don't know why one of my dogs is trying to get up on the sofa. It's been a bit of a different one. These lights are going out because I can see them slowly dimming as we are talking. And yeah, I just want to say a massive thank you to all of you for following along. If you haven't subscribed yet, but you watch some of my content, it'd be lovely if you would go and subscribe, because it means nothing to the channel as in monetary gain or anything like that. It's just a nice number to have. Hitting that 100,000, you know, I was chatting to Graham from Aquarium Adventures about it. Hitting those milestones is nothing really, but it's nice. It makes you feel good. It's very strange. So yeah, no, thank you so much to all of you. I don't know what else to say. Bit of a weird one looking back at where I started and how the video started. Maybe I'll have a look at some of those early other videos as well and just see, you know, moving from setting up a 90-litre aquarium in my old shop to having a 600-litre community aquarium in my house that we're going to be adding fish to in the next couple of weeks. So watch out for that. Yeah, anyway, much love to you all. I'll finish it the same way I finished that one. Much love. And as always, hopefully see you in the next one.